Hello, welcome to Mind the Lilies. My name is Sam and we are about to take a deep dive into the Spathiphyllum plant, more commonly known as the peace lily. Peace lilies really aren't lilies at all. In fact, they're aeroids, just like a philodendron or a calla lily, and they come from Central and South America. This plant is hands down one of the most common houseplants that you will see out there, and that is because they are considered to be rather easy to care for. Now, even though this plant is considered easy care, there are certainly a few important things that you need to know to keep this plant happy. So let's get started. Let's start with the sun requirements. Peace lilies want bright, indirect light. A good general rule of thumb is to say absolutely no direct sunlight. However, these plants will absolutely love that cool, soft morning sunlight, so feel free to give them that. But what they can't handle is any harsh sunlight, so absolutely no afternoon sun whatsoever. These plants would be really well suited in either a north or an eastern facing window. A really great thing about peace lilies is that they can handle low light situations. So you can stick them in a spot where you want to plant but there really isn't that much sunlight and they'll probably still grow for you. They also do really well under just fluorescent lighting, so they make a really good office plant. The dark green varieties are definitely what you're looking for if you're trying to stick a peace lily in a low light situation. Something that has a lot of variegation to it is going to need more sunlight. Just a quick tip, if you have your peace lily right next to a window, make sure not to put it directly on the sill or touching the glass. Pull it away a little bit because peace lilies really don't like that drastic temperature change. If you want to see your peace lily flower, make sure that you're giving it lots of bright indirect light. The ones in a low light situation will still look nice as a foliage plant, but don't expect to see any flowers on them. These plants can bloom twice a year and their blooms usually last for about 2 months. That's pretty impressive, but some people get really frustrated with their peace lily because when they buy it, it's in full bloom and it looks beautiful, and then they bring it home and they really struggle to get it to rebloom. But the reality is that nurseries actually spray their peace lilies with a hormone to induce them to bloom. So of course they look perfect when you pick them up from the nursery, but just know that peace lilies can actually bloom rather sporadically and they definitely need enough sunlight to do so. Too much fertilizer can also cause bloom issues, like weak stems or just no blooms at all. So it's a good idea to use a balanced fertilizer just twice a year, once in the spring and then again in the summer, just to give them a boost. Or you can really heavily dilute that fertilizer and give it to your plant once a month during the growing season. When the flowers start to fade and they start to turn brown like this guy here, go ahead and just follow the stem all the way down to the base of the plant and just chop it off. If you're finding this video helpful, please go ahead and plant your finger on that like button. Now you might have noticed that my peace lily is covered in all of these little white powdery fleck things. That is the pollen from the flowers themselves. It just falls right onto the leaves. It's not a problem, but it is a little unsightly. For the soil, this plant likes to have its soil refreshed every year in springtime, and it wants to have something rich and very well draining so that it doesn't get root rot. Now you might be thinking, root rot, doesn't this plant like moisture? Doesn't it want to be kept evenly moist? And that's not entirely true. A lot of people seem to just throw out the term evenly moist, but that doesn't really describe what this plant actually wants. Despite popular belief, peace lilies are actually drought tolerant, and they hate being in wet or soggy soil or standing in water. In fact, overwatering is probably one of the biggest problems these plants face. I think there are 2 good ways to go about watering a peace lily. The first one is you can just wait for the top inch of soil to completely dry out and then give it a water. Or if you want to be extremely safe, you can actually wait for the leaves to droop a little bit. When peace lilies are thirsty, their leaves droop down in a very sad and dramatic fashion. But when you water them thoroughly and you see the water coming right out the bottom of the pot, they perk right back up for you. Now this may seem kind of cruel, but it actually doesn't hurt the plant in any way and it will help you prevent overwatering. Now of course don't leave them all drooped over like that. If you do that, they will decline very quickly, but just make sure that as soon as you notice, you're giving them a drink. Another great watering tip is that these plants are very sensitive to the chemicals that are in your tap water. Now of course it all depends on your tap water, but rain or filtered water is definitely going to be the best for these. Now let's talk about humidity. This is where peace lilies are absolute moisture lovers. They love humidity, and they would love it if you could give them humidity at about 50% or above. And for this reason, they make excellent bathroom plants. But what if you're seeing some brown or yellow leaves? Well, with brown leaves, it could be a few things. It could be a lack of humidity. It could also be too much fertilizer or too much sunshine. If you're seeing sort of pale, curled leaves, chances are it's just getting too much bright ambient light. But if you're seeing scorched leaves, it's definitely getting too much direct sun. So in those cases, pull it back from your window. With yellowing leaves, this tends to be more of a watering issue, either over or under watering. However, it could also just be that the leaf is getting really old. For pests on this plant, you could see spider mites, scale, mealybug, thrips, but I would say that probably the most common pest problem with these plants is fungus gnats. Now, if you let that top inch of the soil dry out, it will certainly help you with that issue. In the summertime, you can bring your peace lily outside and put it in the shade. Just make sure that you're watching the temperatures. It doesn't want to be out there in anything lower than 60 degrees Fahrenheit. They really prefer between 65 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and they do not like cold drafts or drastic temperature changes. In the wintertime, make sure that you stop giving it any fertilizer and also cut back a little bit on watering. In the winter, it's a really good idea to wait until you see those leaves droop a little bit. Okay, very importantly, toxicity. Yes, this beautiful plant is toxic to both humans and pets. It can cause stomach irritation, tongue swelling, and vomiting if ingested in large enough quantities. They contain calcium oxalate crystals, and these cause a funny sensation in your mouth if you were to chew on a leaf. And apparently it can also cause a strange sensation on your skin when handling the plant. I've never experienced that personally, but let me know if you have. Okay, for propagation, if you want to get yourself some more of these plants, the best way is definitely by division. Do that with large plants in the springtime. Just a quick tip, if you are noticing that your peace lily is drooping really quickly after watering it, then it's actually probably really root bound, and that means it's ready for division. Thank you so much for hanging out with me here today. I really hope that this video was helpful for you. And please don't forget to take care of your plants and yourself.